In this video, we're going to be using WPScan to enumerate users on a WordPress website and conduct a brute force attack against those usernames. Let's dive straight in. Hey guys, I'm Lyle and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be doing a part 2 to the WPScan tutorial in my last video. We're going to be using it in this case to enumerate usernames on a WordPress website, and then we're going to be running a brute force attack against those usernames. So to start, we're going to dive into our terminal in Kali, and we're going to run the WPScan command. We're going to give it a URL, which is our vulnerable WordPress website running in a Docker container. We're then going to be using the -e parameter followed by a U to tell WPScan that we're going to be enumerating the users on the site. And then we're using the -p parameter followed by a directory, which points to a word list that I've created with the passwords that we're going to be using to brute force attack this particular WordPress instance. So once you're ready, we'll hit enter, and we'll see WPScan will begin doing its scan. If we scroll down, we can see it enumerating through the various users. So if we look at this section over here, we can see that it's identified one user by the name of admin and one user by the name of editor. This enumeration was pretty simple. It was a display name of an author on one of the posts. The editor username was found in some login error messages. Then WPScan continued to perform a password attack against the two usernames. We can see that admin was used as a password and the login was successful, and the same applies with editor and editor. It took roughly 4 seconds for that scan to complete. So now we can go over to our WordPress website and we can test those usernames. So admin is the password, and we can click login, and you can see that's taken us into the dashboard. So we now essentially have access to the site, and this proves that the enumeration of the username and password both worked correctly and the brute force attack was effective. So let's have a look and see how we can prevent these sort of attacks from happening, or at least make them slightly more difficult for the attacker to orchestrate. If you come across to the users menu option, you'll see that admin and editor are in fact the two usernames which we enumerated. And if you click on edit and you scroll down to this section where it mentions the nickname, you'll see that admin is the nickname, and then you've got this option to display name publicly as admin. What we could do to mitigate an attack like this, especially if you're using this account to make blog posts, you could simply come across and change the admin name to something else. And then you could use this as your publicly visible name. So even if WPScan detects the author name on the page, it'll always show another user, and the username admin will remain confidential or hidden. A general rule of thumb to prevent these kind of attacks from happening is always to use strong passwords that are random, that aren't part of any word lists that are available, and also to use random or not easy to guess usernames, which will make the brute force attack a lot more difficult. Another way to prevent brute force attacks from happening is to use a web application firewall, or a WAF. A very popular one in WordPress is called WordFence. And with WordFence, you can set up a login rate limit, which if the number of attempts to log in are unsuccessful, will then block that user from logging in with that username. And it'll also block the IP address of where that login is originating from. So to wrap this video up, we've used WPScan to enumerate and conduct a brute force attack against a vulnerable WordPress website. And just a couple of take-home notes. Please remember always to use strong usernames and passwords, And it's always advisable to have a firewall in place with the ability to limit the number of failed login attempts and block any of those bad actor IP addresses. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated, and it'll help me to get this channel off the ground. I'll see you all soon. Take care and cheers for now.